At the heart of every ancient civilization lies a mystery, a puzzle that has fascinated historians, scientists, and adventurers for centuries. One such enigma that continues to capture the imagination of people around the world is the story of Atlantis. The lost city, said to be an advanced civilization with incredible technology, vast wealth, and a rich culture, only to vanish without a trace. But is Atlantis real? Or is it simply an allegory? A myth passed down through generations. Part 1. The origins of the Atlantis myth. The story of Atlantis dates back to the writings of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Around 360 BCE, Plato introduced the tale of a powerful, wealthy island civilization in his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias. According to Plato, Atlantis was a vast island located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. Plato's account describes Atlantis as a technologically advanced society, home to majestic palaces, great harbors, and towering temples. The city was ruled by kings who were descendants of Poseidon, the god of the sea. But as Atlantis grew in power, the people became corrupt. They waged war on neighboring civilizations, including ancient Athens, but were eventually defeated. The gods, displeased with their arrogance, caused the island to sink into the ocean in a cataclysmic event. Plato's descriptions have sparked debates for centuries. Was Atlantis merely a fictional account, a story created to illustrate a moral lesson about hubris? Or was there a kernel of truth buried beneath the myth? Part 2. Atlantis as allegory or history? Some scholars believe that the story of Atlantis was an allegory designed by Plato to criticize the moral decline of his contemporary society, particularly Athens. Plato's warning was clear. Too much power and wealth could lead to corruption and destruction. Others, however, argue that Plato's account was based on actual historical events. There are many theories that Atlantis was a real place, a civilization that existed long before recorded history. Some point to the detailed geographical descriptions in Plato's writings as evidence that Atlantis could have been a real place. Plato mentions that Atlantis was a series of concentric rings of land and water, with a central island housing the capital city. He describes its fertile soil, extensive waterways, and vast forests. Some scholars suggest that these descriptions could be based on real locations, perhaps a now-destroyed island civilization. Part 3. Theories and speculation. Where could Atlantis have been? For centuries, people have speculated about where Atlantis could have been. Could it lie beneath the waves of the Atlantic Ocean, as Plato suggested? Or might it have been somewhere else entirely? One of the most popular theories is that Atlantis was located in the Atlantic Ocean, near the Azores or the Canary Islands. This theory aligns with Plato's description of the island being beyond the Pillars of Hercules. In the 19th century, French writer Pierre Dumas proposed that the island could be located in the region of the Azores, an archipelago in the Atlantic Ocean. However, there are also theories that place Atlantis far from the Atlantic. Some suggest that the island could have been in the Mediterranean, in locations such as Santorini or the island of Crete. The Minoan civilization, which thrived on the island of Crete, experienced a catastrophic volcanic eruption around 1600 BCE, an event that could have inspired the Atlantis legend. Others believe that Atlantis could have been in the Caribbean, possibly near the Bahamas. The Bimini Road, a submerged rock formation near the Bahamas, has long been associated with Atlantis by some, though most scientists believe it to be a natural formation. Of course, these theories are speculative at best, and the true location of Atlantis remains elusive. Part 4. The connection to real-world civilizations. Could there be a connection between the myth of Atlantis and real-world ancient civilizations? Many believe that Atlantis may have been inspired by real events, such as the destruction of the Minoan civilization on Crete or the Thera eruption, which was one of the most significant volcanic eruptions in recorded history. The Thera eruption, which occurred around 1600 BCE, devastated the Minoan civilization. Some scholars propose that the destruction of this once great culture could have influenced Plato's story of Atlantis. The Minoans were known for their advanced architecture, their vibrant art, and their maritime prowess. Like Atlantis, they were a wealthy, powerful society. And like Atlantis, they disappeared after a catastrophic event, Could the memory of the Minoans have evolved into the myth of Atlantis? Part 5. The Search for Atlantis. Throughout history, many explorers, archaeologists, and adventurers have embarked on quests to find Atlantis. Some have claimed to discover the fabled city, but no conclusive evidence has ever been found. In the 19th century, British writer and researcher Ignatius Donnelly became one of the first to popularize the idea that Atlantis was a real, historical place. His 1882 book, Atlantis, The Antediluvian World, proposed that the island was located in the Atlantic Ocean and that it was the origin of many ancient cultures, from Egypt to the Americas. Since then, numerous expeditions have searched for Atlantis. One of the most famous searches took place in the early 20th century when explorers combed the Mediterranean and the Caribbean for signs of the lost city. Today, modern technology, like sonar and underwater archaeology, allows researchers to explore deeper and more remote areas of the ocean than ever before. Yet, despite these advancements, no definitive evidence of Atlantis has been found. Part 6. The enduring fascination with Atlantis. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the legend of Atlantis remains as compelling as ever. Why? What is it about this lost city that continues to captivate our imaginations? Perhaps it's the idea that an ancient, advanced civilization once existed, far beyond what we thought possible. A civilization with knowledge, power, and technology that was lost to time. Or maybe it's the mystery itself, the idea that something so powerful, so awe-inspiring, could simply vanish without a trace. Atlantis represents a universal theme, the fragility of human achievement. It reminds us that even the greatest civilizations can fall, and that nothing is truly permanent. So, where does that leave us with the mystery of Atlantis? Is it real, or simply a myth? The truth may never be known, but perhaps in the end, the legend itself is the most enduring thing about Atlantis. A tale of a great city lost to the sea, forever a symbol of both our potential and our vulnerability. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Could Atlantis be out there, waiting to be discovered? Or is it simply a myth? Let us know what you think. Until next time, keep exploring the unknown and come back for another Mystery of Humanity.